personally, I never have regretted that I started as a trainee. I learned a lot. It was a fantastic experience. So for the trainees themselves, it often is a positive experience. Hi, my name is Tom Haak of the HR Trend Institute. Today, a new episode in the sub-series on HR bad practices. And I've gathered many bad practices in this bowl, and I'm going to draw one of these bad practices. You can see it here out of the bowl, and then we can see which bad practice I will tackle today. And you can see it here. I hope you can read it. It's traineeships. So what about traineeships? First, I must admit, I started my career as a trainee in Philips Electronics a long time ago. In those days, Philips was a big company, 250,000 people or something around that. And they wanted to change the people in their HR department, which were called personnel or social affairs. So they said, let's start a traineeship. So they hired a couple of ambitious trainees, and they really designed a fantastic program for us. I think it was 9 months, and we hopped through the company. A month here, a month in the factory, a month in a small HR department, a month in a bigger HR department, a month doing some research somewhere. And then after 9 months, we got a real job, which was not so easy, because after those 9 months, most people in the organization said, "Whoa, we don't want those trainees. They are so super arrogant and they are protected by the top of the organization. Maybe we better not have them." But in the end, we succeeded in finding a real job. So why do I think that traineeship is a bad practice? And I want to give you some example. The first element I already mentioned, that is, trainees tend to hop from assignment to assignment, especially in their trainee period. And in some organizations, traineeships can last a long time. So you hop from assignment to assignment, and often the time is not really long enough. One, to get some real experience. Secondly, for the organization to really judge your capabilities, because it's too short, and often you don't get real work as well. So too much hopping, and that's not very helpful. Secondly, the expectations are often too high. The expectations of the organization and the expectations of the trainee. And the organization thinks, now we hire top people and they will bring us a lot. And the trainees think, well, I'm special and I will move as a rocket through the organization. And both expectations are often too high, resulting in trainees leaving and disappointment in the organization. Also, the design of the traineeships is often not good enough. It's not based on analytics, it's based on a couple of people sitting together and saying, what type of experience do our new top executives need? They need experience international, they need experience in different departments, they need experience. So yeah, they build a traineeship often around the thought that we need rounded leaders. And I will talk in another episode about rounded leadership, which I think is the wrong concept. So, but it's often the design of the traineeships is not good enough. Another negative element or another downside is that you create a distinction between trainees and the rest of the organization. People are looking at the trainees and saying, hey, what's going on? Why are those people treated special? What about me? Also for the organizations, generally it's better to consider a wider pool of candidates. It's very difficult to select people up front for future leadership positions. or other positions for that rest. It's not so easy to predict future success. We know that, and that's why it's important to consider a wider pool of people and really look at their performance. A last element I would like to mention, there are more, but a last element is a lack of diversity. Often, if you look at the group of trainees, they look very homogeneous, as if they come from the same mold. Lack of diversity, and it's not so easy to change that because the traineeships attract a certain type of people. The last element is that many traineeships are not successful. Also because most of the trainees, as in my Philips Electronics example, they leave. So you spend a lot of time and effort and money in those trainees, and then most of them leave because they are moving on, they are ambitious, they are a little bit disappointed in the speed of progress in your organization. So, well, I think traineeships most of the time are a waste of money and they have too many negative effects. So what should you do? A couple of things. One, I think, is give people real jobs. Give people real jobs and don't rotate them too quickly. Give people real jobs where they can really, where you allow them to learn a lot, where you allow them to show their value. And then the second element is use proper people analytics. Use proper people analytics to determine what are the real success factors, what are the real distinguishing factors in different types of jobs between good, top and average. And we don't spend enough analysis. We don't spend enough effort on determining those factors because still many selection processes are based on more on gut feel and a couple of people determining important factors than real thorough analytics. So this is the end of the episode on traineeships. Personally, I never have regretted that I started as a trainee. I learned a lot. It was a fantastic experience. So for the trainees themselves, it often is a positive experience. So we should not forget that either. If you want more, subscribe to this channel. Go to the website of the HR Trend Institute, hrtrendinstitute.com. Link to me on LinkedIn or in other ways, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.